Hey, what's going on, everyone? Cardboard.Capitan here, and I've got a long video, and I broke it up, broke up the recording in parts, but this past January, I participated in the Explorer Weekend event because I got top 250 for the December season, and this is the deck I decided to go with. I knew that I wanted to do some with Unholy Annex, and I tried different versions. I tried Rakdos, that's the most popular version. I tried Golgari, and that did alright, but you know, when I was playing Rakdos, I just got demolished with this Dimir version, so I decided, okay, I have a lot of the cards already, let me give this a shot. So it has like some ninjutsu themes with Kaido and Moon Circuit Hacker, so it's not a pure ninja deck. But the basic idea, it uses really small creatures to get an aggressive start, and then goes into the mid game with Unholy Annex. It's like pushing a snowball during the beginning, as you can snowball your advantages through Unholy Annex, multiple miscreants, and the hacker, then you push that into victory. Let's see. Creature-wise, Prairie Miscreant goes well with Mockingbird. You can get plenty of cards from that. Floodbit Drowner. There's some tricks with that using Ninjutsu. Spy Class Siren, it's a good creature you can get back with Moon Circuit Hacker. And you have Kaido, which can be a hard creature to answer for a lot of decks, especially the mid-range control decks. And you also have Thoughtseize for early hand control and to disrupt their game plan. Let's see, nothing too special about the lands. Only thing I'll say, Mutavault is awesome with Unholy Annex. And sideboard, Anoint with Affliction, cut down. That's mainly for creature decks. Archfiend of the Dross, if you need more power. Disdainful Stroke, counterspell for like big spells when you're trying to end the game. Dress, you'll bring that in. More hand disruption, especially versus opposing Unholy Annexes, because usually whoever gets these to stick, they'll win the game. Grafdigger's Cage, Unlicensed Hearse, that's some graveyard hate. And Necromentia, so this wasn't in the original deck I found, but I figured, okay, this has a lot of use, whether it be Phoenix, whether it be combo decks, like the Lotus combo, for example. So I figured I'd give it a shot. I know Dimir is also the color of Unmoored Ego, but Unmoored Ego gives cards, whereas Necromentia gives 2/2 creatures, and this deck has plenty of ways of dealing with creatures. So with that said, let's go to some gameplay. Okay, game 1, Explorer Weekend, here we go. Opponent's going first. I've got a decent hand. More lands than I would like, but hopefully I don't draw into too many more. So, opponent plays a Soulscar Mage. I can expect some sort of burn and some sort of aggro. And Innkeeper's Talent comes down. So, opponent's off to a very aggressive start, but I do have a Fatal Push I can play. Going for the card here. And I have the Swamp for the Fatal Push. I'm expecting some sort of pump spell, or if the opponent wants to level up their Innkeeper's talent, I can throw off their tempo a bit here. Okay, level 2. And in response, I'm going to attempt taking out the Soulscar Mage before any of that ward takes into effect. Let's see. I don't mind. Okay, definitely good cards to take out. I take out the Nemesis because that's going to be a continuous thing to worry about rather than a one-time thing. And I am getting so mana flood right now, so the map token helps, but what I would really want right now is an Unholy Annex, since I have the Mutavault to start the continuous drain effect. But at least, the Soulscar Mage doesn't have Trample right now, so I can protect some life points. So, Flood Pit's Drowner is gonna buy a turn, and I get more land. This sucks. But the opponent, fortunately, is also drawing a lot of land. Okay. So here I'm going Den of the Bugbear for one. Opponent can Monstrous Rage in response, but I don't want to deal with that token that would come into play from it attacking. So I'm going to take a really big hit here. And I do draw a Moon Circuit Hacker, which means I can return the Drowner to my hand and reuse it next turn. Now, I choose not to attack with Mutavault here, just because I wouldn't have any enough blue mana to do what I wanted to do here. Okay, perfect. I get an island. More land from the opponent. Here comes the Flood Pit Drowner. Now, and I'm just careful, I'm manually tapping here, just so I can bluff the Fatal Push. So some sort of aggro, as far as I can tell. Thoughtseize, you generally want to take out, cut down is a good pick here, because it's additional removal. I also bring in Archfiend of the Dross because it's just a large amount of power. It can end the game pretty fast. Now, I did take out Unholy Annex, but I figured the game's going to be decided early on, so I want to make as much of an impact early game as I can. So, game 2. Much better hand than last time. I've got a good mix of removal and creatures. Right now, it's looking like the play is similar to last game. I play a creature first turn, then Ninjutsu in the Hacker, draw a card off it, and have mana up for removal. Except this time, I have Cut Down rather than Fatal Push. Heartfire Hero, okay. So I want to have a creature for Moonstruck Attacker to Ninjutsu in, so I'm just gonna Mockingbird one of theirs. And this is nice because I have Cut Down, which would trigger the prowess of the mage I'm using. Okay, Reckless Rage. And here I'm just thinking a bit. I decide to go remove the Heartfire Hero instead. Oh, I think here I was trying to figure out would the spell still resolve if I remove the mage. But anyway, I see the Heartfire Hero more as a permanent thing that I must answer. And the Soulscar Mage, I only really have to worry about prowess. So I do the same thing where I Mockingbird their mage. My creatures are getting removed, which is just fine, because that means less burn spells to my face. And hopefully that means no burn spells to my Flood Pit's Drowner. Okay, Manifold Mouse. Perfect. So I'm anoint out the mouse. And I'm a Ninjutsu in the Hacker. Okay. And I get another Hacker. So I do have one already. And I don't really like the one toughness of the Hacker, so I'm gonna just take it out. Let's see if the attack goes through. It does. And I am getting mana flooded again. So I can bring in the Flood Pit's Drowner again. Tap out their Soulscar Mage. And then the opponent has a Challenger. Okay. And then I just remove their board. I want to get rid of that Emberheart Challenger before Prowess can make it stronger. Okay. And then Monstrous Rage on their turn, which is fine by me. I've got a Mutavault that can swing in next turn. Yeah, and I've been really, I guess, lucky with my top decks here because I've been top decking a lot of removal. Opponent doesn't have much of board right now, but does have 3 cards in hand. Gives up though. So, hey, game 1. That's 2-0. Okay, game 2. I am on the play. Not the best hand. This hand's a little bit better because I can go turn 1 Miscreant, turn 2 Mockingbird. Start off with a strong flying presence and offset the cards I play. So Triome comes down. And I go with Mutavault because it looks like some sort of control deck. Opponent takes 2 and passes the turn. So swing here. Vanishing Verse on one of the Miscreants. And that opens up Kaito to come into play. So draw a card off Kaido.
Information is its own weapon.
I've got too many lands. Now the Flood Pit's Drowner I don't see as having too much of an impact in game. In this game, but they do have Flash, which can open up some tricks. Opponent does have Leyline Binding for the Kaito, unfortunately.
Another way out.
But you know, get my 2 damage in, and then double Miscreant. I can save the Brazen Borrower to, well, no, because even if I bounce their Leyline Binding does have Flash, so I have to wait until they overcommit to their board. So I'm gonna see if they want to trade here. They don't. So I'm gonna get a card off here. And then draw with Miscreant again. Okay, Zerg comes down, and that's bad news for me. Because now Overlord comes in with lifelink, making 2 tokens. And I don't really have anything for Zur right now. So, yeah, that really hurts. So, I'm not really sure what to sideboard here. I probably should bring... Well, Archfiend of the Dross would likely be removed easily. So, I mean, I still bring it in, but a lot of hand hate, bring in the Thoughtseize, bring in the Duress, bring in Necromentia, because once that comes down, I'm just screwed. So I'll just have to see how this goes. I think here I want to try to win before the Zur comes down and can start animating their enchantments. See how it goes, though. Okay, so I'm gonna get the draw off the hacker again. Not looking the best right now. My only non-card hand is Miscreant, so... But, oh hey, I do have Unholy Annex, so that's a good find. The ninja draws Vanishing Verse, which means I'll get at least 1 card off Unholy Annex. Unfortunately, it is land. So Leyline Binding for the Annex. And I do have Thoughtseize now. So let me see if I can come up with a game plan here. I gotta get rid of the Zur. Okay, so Archfiend of the Dross. I'm gonna keep it just so I can draw some removal. Okay. Opponent's gonna get the Yorion. Yeah, I see it okay. Alright, I'm gonna pause the video here just to emphasize something. Now, the card draw you get from the hacker doesn't come into play until the actual damage from the hacker goes through. So what I've seen some people do, they'll allow the ninjutsu to pull through, and then before the hacker does damage, they'll remove it. But in this case, I think it's okay, because I want that ley line of the binding to come down, and I can drop the Archfiend of the Dross this coming turn. Let's see what the opponent does. Okay, that's fine. Let me draw yet another land. So I'm gonna drop the Miscreant. And I think there I was considering if I have enough mana for Odawara end of turn, so if the opponent taps out, I could try for an Odawara end of turn, but that incarnation I definitely gotta get rid of. Because if they incarnation their leyline, they can get a big creature, which I don't want to deal with. Okay. Swing out here. Opponent's gonna take the trade. Alright. Opponent drops a binding on the demon. So I still have the option to drain with Mutavault. Incarnation comes down. They have the spare binding. Binding is going to bring out Atraxa. Fatal Push means it's risky to bring out the Mutavault. They also have another leyline for the Unholy Annex. No. If they want to Fatal Push some Mutavault, go ahead. I think here I'm just dead. Okay. That's enough. Get me out of here. So, I think this loss was mostly the matchup, but see how it goes. Okay, game 3. Let's see if I can redeem that last match. 3 Spyglass Sirens and 1 Unholy Annex. Say it's a keep, although it's a bit unusual. I think the big plus is I do have Mutavault, I do have Unholy Annex. So, see how this goes. Some sort of right aggression from the opponent's side. And I hate this Ether Drift pet. Because, you know, even though I always play full mute, it still makes that zipping sound. It goes zoom zoom. Yeah, I kind of got lucky with a fatal push off the top. Because right now I'm just going for the race. I figured I can get the lead here. And I do have Unholy Annex. Okay, the Manifold Mouse does give it double strike, so that's a bit unfortunate. And then that's death. So, just didn't know what the opponent was playing, so I went with an aggressive start. Kinda was unlucky since I didn't have any removal, so I bring it in. I probably should have mulliganed here, which I do. And this is a bare hand. Oh, did the sound cut out? Okay. I want to have Flood Pit's Drowner because I'm expecting some sort of creature here. Okay. And I do want to have mana for Kumano. Okay. So while I can bring Kumano, or not Kumano, Kaido this turn, Kumano comes down next turn. And that's a hasted creature, so... I'm just gonna swing in. I'm gonna hold off on Kaido this turn. And rather, I'm gonna ninjutsu out Flood Pit's Drowner. And this is what I was talking about first game. But even though I don't draw a card there, I do have another Flood Pit's Drowner. Swift Spear comes down. Ember Heart Challenger comes down. I'm thinking about blocking here. But I'm also thinking about I can Mockingbird my Flood Pit's Drowner. Miscreant's not gonna do anything because I want to use this Mockingbird. But I think, okay, yeah, maybe this was a play mistake. So I probably should have just avoided using that map token and just played Mockingbird on my Flood Pit's Drowner. And then used it to return the challenger, but here, okay, I bring in Kaido.
Impressed. Don't worry, Pom-Pom-chan. I've got this.
And then I tap down the Swift Spear.
Rethink your life.
I think at the very least, they can swing into Kaido. And, you know, this round I'd have Kaido as a bait. But they do get 2 double challenger.
I'm really not used to losing.
Right now I'm just getting swarmed by opposing creatures with very little of mine. I'm hoping I can use this Valiant trigger for something. I do get a fatal push off it, which is nice. The thing I have to worry about here is if the opponent has a non-creature in hand. So I'm gonna try the block. Opponent does take the trade. Here I can play out my hand if everything goes through. Ninjutsu out Kaido.
Don't be jealous of my slim chances, just make victory that much sweeter. My eyes are as sharp as my sword.
Okay, so Ken's on. That's something I wasn't expecting. They all go for Kaido, though.
Don't worry, I've got an exit strategy.
So at least this round, opponents can completely tapped out. Okay. Doing a few calculations here. Right now I'm just trying to maximize damage. Okay, more lands. I'm doing a few calculations, seeing what I can attack with, what I can't. Probably should use Fatal Push there for the extra prowess. I think my big mistake here too was not bringing Archfiend of the Dross, because that would have been another big body. Not drawing too many. I don't think I've seen Annex at all this in either of these two games. So let's see. That's 2, 4, 6, 8 damage. I'm a block 1 prowess creature. I was keeping push, just so I can respond to any buffs they would play. Then this looks like lethal. I'm gonna see if I draw anything, but even then, unfortunately, what would have won the game there was Unholy Annex, but I didn't draw it, so a bit unfortunate, but extremely much closer game this round. I'm like, where's my Annex? That would have won me the game, huh? Alright, so right now, 1 win, 2 losses. Did I have fun in the match? Yeah, that was a close one. So yeah, it's do or die time, basically. So fortunately I do get to play first. I get a ridiculous hand of 3 fairy miscreants. So, see how this goes. Alright. Miscreant number 1 comes down. I attempt to draw. From having multiple miscreants, opponent could fatal push, but what the opponent doesn't know, I have a 3rd miscreant. I gotta speak it like a French person. Miscreant croissant. Okay, I get Thoughtseize. I only have a Flipkits Drowner in hand. And I have a whole bunch of lands, and you know, if I really need to, I can use Takenuma next turn. Yeah, I think I'm finally getting the big red-black mid-range match. Oh, if you don't play Explorer at all, Rakdos mid-range is the big deck that people are expecting. Got a large percentage of the metagame. And Rakdos mid-range is some I tried out at first. But in the end I went with Dimir just because it whooped me when I was playing Rakdos. So okay, I was see. I'm gonna get the Drowner. Gotta figure out a way to get rid of this Shieldred though. So I guess the play here is to swing in with the Miscreants, have the Drowner tap down the Slasher, and hopefully the opponent swings in so that'll trigger the Revolt for Shieldred. I think maybe swinging in with both Miscreants would have been like a tell of some sort. Now, I could have Thoughtseize last turn, but I figured, okay, if the opponent's gonna play Annex, they would have done it by now. Okay. Opponent's gonna swing. He drops some Fable of Mirror Breaker. I didn't want to lose a Drowner there. I wasn't expecting Fable, but I just feel like I need a board presence right now. So I'm swinging with both. And I'm permanently remove the slasher. Or at least consider it. Yeah, let me shuffle the slasher back in. And let's see what I draw off the hacker. Okay, a Mute Vault. Could be better. Now, at this point, I don't think it matters too much how many treasure tokens the opponent has. The Rakdos deck tops out at 5 with whatchamacallit? The 6/6 demon side of their Unholy Annex. Let's see. No, it's not looking good at all for me. I figure I'm not gonna block because if I'm gonna lose here, it's probably to Unholy Annex. There's a Bloodletter. Yeah, and I'm just dead. Let's see. Here, I think Archfiend would be a good find. I'm not too sold on Moon Circuit here because there's Fatal Push, which can disrupt me. I want to bring in a lot of creature removal. Let me see. I think I put in Disdainful Stroke thinking that it would be good for Unholy Annex. But I don't think that even works, huh? So I probably should have kept in like Duress and Thoughtseize and went at it that way. So I'll just say I wasn't thinking right that sideboarding session. And that's some you gotta consider too. If you gotta have some stamina with these qualifier weekends because they're just one match after the other, and it's easy to make mistakes just from being exhausted playing. But let's see if it hurts me too much. Now this is a good hand, despite only being at 2 lands. I have removal, I have Kaito, I have Archfiend. So long as I'm able to draw lands in the up and coming turns, can hopefully get paid off. His opponent's looking in my hand. Drowners might be the best card to take, assuming that the opponent has no removal in hand, because it does enable Kaido, but opponent takes out Kaido instead. Might be the better choice. Okay. Blood-Pissed Harvester comes down. Not a creature that I want to permanently remove, but a good creature nonetheless. And Annex gets started. So hopefully Unholy Annex can draw me into some lands. And then my Archfiend can come down and put a lot of pressure on the opponent. Okay. So I'm gonna swing in first. No, I chose not to go Archfiend there because they could use that blood token, sacrifice it, and that'll give the revolt for Fatal Push. So I think the safer play here is to just Spyglass Siren, use a map token, and I'll have Fatal Push and Anoint with Affliction as options. Now, opponent discards a Slasher. That's not going to be too effective with Anoint in hand. Okay, Fable. I get the feeling right now that the opponent's not drawing too many lands either, so I think removing the Goblin token would be beneficial, would help out. So yeah, Fatal Push on the Goblin token. And I'm just gonna swing in. If the opponent trades, I get the added benefit of the dross. So opponent really needs a Fatal Push here. They can still get Revolt from just sacrificing the Harvester. But even then, that's one creature off the board and I still have 4 power outside of the dross. So That just makes it worse. Kaido comes in. Okay, go for the throat on the Archfiend. Don't care too much. Now I'm a ninjutsu in Kaido. You know, even though I could bring in the 6/6 demon from Unholy Annex, I always have to worry about Fatal Push. Now, since I have Unholy Annex,
I've trained with the best.
I just choose to power up my ninjas. Opponent takes a bold 2 damage, but it does enable Invoke Despair, which wipes my board. Fortunately, I do have removal, but I'm a Mockingbird their reflection first. Just so I have a creature. And if the opponent doesn't have anything for the next 2 turns, I win. So let's see. Okay, go for the throat. Here I'm just trying to end the game. So I go with the demon instead of Unholy Annex. They have an Archfiend, but no, they see that, okay, I can use that map token, I can go into Fatal Push. Let's see if I fix my mistake. Nope, nope, nope. Nope, nope, nope. Okay, to be fair, I did see Sheoldred first game, so maybe that Disdainful Stroke wasn't as useless as I thought, but it appears that they sided out their Sheoldred. They did bring Archfiend. I don't know if they did like a 1-to-1 swap, but no, it still has purpose in this deck. As far as my hand, Siren to Mockingbird to Annex, and they have the Duress for the Annex. So Blade of the Oni. So while I can go Miscreant to Mockingbird, I really want to have a demon so Unholy Annex can start draining next turn. So I just Mockingbird their Blade. 3/1 Flying Menace Demon. Okay, Fable. I've got double Flood Pit's Drowner in my hand. The Miscreant, not as great of a card right now. Okay. So opponents not seeing the value of Slasher into the matchup. Maybe they should have sided it out. But good on my part, at least. Okay. I'm gonna swing in. 4 damage, please. So I want to keep up the pressure. I think if the opponent wanted to remove the blade this turn, then they would have removed it by now. But that means, okay, I can drain off Unholy Annex. And opponent just gives up. Okay. Yeah, no. So strong start there, and I was able to get the demon, even though I didn't have a demon, so. As you can see, Mockingbird's pretty strong. Alright, game 5. I'm getting a bit of my confidence back with these matches. But no colored mana in hand, so let me mulligan it. Three Unholy Annexes. Not the best, but I can work with it. And I'm gonna go just a plain Mockingbird, because I can use Moon Circuit Hacker, but it does have the Thoughtseize, but I do draw another Moon Circuit Hacker. Okay, FOMO comes down. I really want another land. So even though I can't swing in with Moon Circuit Hacker right now, I could Mockingbird or FOMO, but I'm gonna just push it out of the way. And I do get the Mutavault. So that opens up Flood Pit's Drowner on their turn. And then I can just drop the Annex. So this Moon Circuit Hacker is going a mile this round. Table comes down, I'm gonna tap down their Goblin token. And then drop my Annex. So I'm gonna get a whole bunch of cards. And I need to discard a card. I think here I want to go for 5 land as fast as possible, so I have 2 ritual chamber activations. I do have to watch out for fatal push, but this is looking like a red-black mid-range again. Okay. Okay. Opponent's gonna block the drowners, or a drowner. It does mean I can draw off the hacker. And since I have so many lands, I don't mind. And I draw into land again. I don't mind losing a Mutavault here. Potentially losing a Mutavault. Because, you know, I got 2. Fatal push on one of my Mutavault also means that it's 1 less on one of the 6/6 demon tokens I can bring out. And the opponent just gives up. So I guess, you know, could swing. They had no removal in hand. Let's see. So where did I cut? What? No, I didn't cut anything yet. I do want to bring in more removal. I think looking back, I should have cut Spyglass Siren and bringing Mockingbird, because as you can see, as you saw in the last round, I could always Mockingbird one of their demons and have it benefit me. But I think this is a much better sideboard plan. Bring in the Duress, bring in the Thoughtseize to proactively remove their Unholy Annex. I was proud of the ninja that round, so I kept him in. But I always have to be vigilant of them fatal pushing the ninja before he goes through. No lands, definite mulligan. Much better. And, you know, even though I don't have a swamp, easy Archfiend to the bottom. Okay. Ninjutsu out the hacker. Duress to figure out the opponent's game plan. Okay, I don't mind the Gopher Throat. Alright, Unholy Annex. Because, even though I'll take a hit from Mutavault, they do have Gopher's Throat, so just not worth putting a creature that round. Dress my Thoughtseize. Okay, I do have a duress this round too. Yeah, definitely getting rid of that Invoke Despair, because this whatchamacallit, Unholy Annex is gonna carry me. Okay, do 2 damage from the Mutavault, drain 2 life. An opponent can beat me down with some Mutavaults for now. But unfortunately for the opponent, they're drawing a lot of their discard spells. And I'm drawing a lot of my X for 1 spells. Generally in these Unholy Annex mirror decks, or mirror matchups, whoever can get an Unholy Annex down and protect it will win.
Don't worry, Pom Pom Chan. I've got this. Never underestimate my skills.
A Thoughtseize. Pulling out my Drowner. Okay, so now the opponent can't Mutavault because I have Fatal Push in hand. So I'm just gonna do my best to power up the Kaido and get carried by Unholy Annex.
I've trained with the best.
And opponent gives up, so unfortunate draws from the opponent, but I got my Unholy Annex and they didn't, and that's just how the matchup goes sometimes. Alright, game 6. Game 6. I can choose to play first. Okay, much better hand than last turn. Good mix of creatures, good mix of removal. So the classic, -4. See what the opponent wants to discard. So the Fatal Pushes, not so good of card in hand now. Alright. Even though I could Flood Pit's Drowner the Prankster, they do have Spike Field Hazard, but I don't see Fatal Push helping out much versus their phoenixes. Someone just drop a fairy. If they want to remove it, they can. When Miscreant, it's only really good when you either have it in multiples, or if you have a Mockingbird to copy it, so it's just pressure, even though it's really 20 turns of pressure. There's the talent, so they can start discarding their phoenixes. Then I would just drop the Drowner, because they didn't leave one of the red mana untapped, and I see an opportunity to go in. Okay. Okay, there's the other Phoenix going to the graveyard. So I'm expecting at least 2 Phoenixes this round. Possibly more here. That's third Phoenix. But I do have a Revolt trigger for Fatal Push. And I can also, Flood Pit's Drowner one. So there's a Drowner on one. Push on another. I only take 3, but I am out of a bunch of cards in hand. And I did draw another Swamp, so it's not looking too good. Chances are they have removal in hand, so I think using the Drowner there would have helped. Hopefully the game ends quick, because the Deidetic Memory is going to power up that Phoenix. The 10-9 Phoenix. Nope. 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 So let's see. So I think having some additional discard here would help. Definitely Hearse, Grafdigger's Cage. I'm trying to figure out what to discard, or what to take out. I think taking out the Fatal Push may have been a mistake, because even though it doesn't help too much versus Phoenix itself, it does take out those creatures like the fairies. So I keep one and go with it. Disdainful Stroke's gonna help versus Treasure Cruise, but I think that was a mistake there, because you know, I do have Unholy Annex too. And Disdainful Stroke here, it's very narrow in its usage. It's risky. It's a 1-land hand, but I do have Siren, I do have Hacker, so Yeah, I'll go for it. And it gets torched. So that's unfortunate. But I got so many cards I want to bring in here. I've got Hearse, I've got Necromentia. I've got no lands though. Like, it would be so nice. I can Hearse their creature, or Hearse their graveyard, and then I could Necromentia their Phoenix. Just like, I want to cast these spells so bad. Okay. Drops the Prankster. Give me a land, please. No land. Okay. No box. Hurry, I gotta land. And I think here, you know, I hadn't played too many Phoenix decks beforehand, but I think the strategy here, I should have been proactively using the Hearse. Like right now, I'm waiting, where is that Phoenix? Let me counter it, or let me remove it from the graveyard. But you also have to consider, they can remove a lot of the graveyard with Hearse. 4 Treasure Cruise. So if they delve for 6... they delve for 7, I could have done something there. At the very least, if I had used Hearse beforehand, it would have taken them off a turn. And all the while, that eidetic memory is powering up their Pixie, or their Prankster. So right now, it's not looking too great for me. I do have Flood Pit's Drowner for the Prankster, but they're just putting stuff onto the board now. Goes to level 2. Oh. Flood Pit's Drowner, at least it will buy a turn. There goes one Phoenix at least. Still no land though. So I could... So right now, you know, I'm holding on with these Flood Pit's Drowners. There goes, my hearse. So one last exile session before it goes. Opponent's drawing a bunch of cards, so I gotta use the Drowner this turn. See. All right. Yeah, no lands. Hey, I think I'm dead. I'm gonna swing in. I can drop the hacker. Hey, I got land. Yeah, but it's too late for that. Like, even if I do drop the Drowner next turn, I mean, opponent can definitely, they have a breed anyway, but you know, if they didn't draw it all, I would have lost. And you know, 3/3 for Explorer, not a bad deal. 3,000 gems, you know, for getting top 250. So, all right. Yeah, no. With that said, no, if you're still here, you enjoyed the content, do follow me on X, follow me on the Moxfield, comment, like, subscribe, do the usual YouTube stuff. See you all next time. Bye then.